Ninjani. Sanbonani, Ninjani, Gi Nimugelanina e Zanzi Africa. I officially welcome our international guests to the beautiful country of South Africa. Firstly, I extend my gratitude to the members of the committee for giving me an opportunity to chair today's presentation. Now, an introduction to our guest of honor. Our guest of honor tonight is Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash, Arya, who hails from Rohtak, Haryana, India. Currently, he is the chair of the Maharishi Dayanand University in Rohtak, India. Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya has convened numerous international and national conferences and seminars. Dr. Ravi Prakash Arya is a prolific writer and author who has written numerous books, journals, and articles. At the moment, he has various ongoing pursuits in the field of research. His brilliance precedes him, and the list of his accomplishments are endless. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present you our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash. I now hand you over to Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash.
Thank you. And I also convey my warm greetings to everybody on the occasion of Ram Navami, because Ram is a very important personality in India. He is known as Maryada Purushottama, and an ideal personality, ideal king, ideal son, ideal husband, ideal father. So he is the embodiment of what we can call ideal. And now I'm coming today's lecture as the topic has been assigned to me is formation of Arya Samaj. Because when we talk about Swami Dayananda and all these things, so Arya Samaj comes at the forefront. This is what the moment launched by Maharishi Dayananda in 1875. And this is a movement of reformation in Hinduism. Not only in Hinduism, it covered almost all the religions during that period. So I would sometimes say that this was a movement for the reformation of the world religions, just to bring humanity to the right path. As we know, Swami Dayananda has a great influence, not only in India, but in the whole of the world scenario in that time. And India is very much indebted to Swami Dayananda for all his contributions. I would like to quote a famous historian, Jaiswal. He says, the rise of Dayananda in the 19th century is a phenomenon which baffles the historians. But there is such life germs in the civilization of Hindus which evidently make it indestructible and which are beyond the ken of that empiricist observer called historian. The present reformed and rejuvenated Hinduism is solely a gift of Dayananda Saraswati. Dayananda had the humanity of Buddha, but he combined in him the preservative complex of Shankara. So is very vocal in saying that the entire rejuvenated Hinduism is the gift of Dayananda. And in Indian history, after Mahabharata, we witnessed two personalities, dominating personalities, Buddha and Shankara. In Dayananda, both of these personalities were combined. And not only this historian, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was 2 times the president of India and most prominent leader of the Indian National Congress, he also says at one place, he says Dayananda was a social reformer, profound scholar, and great fearless leader who had rendered valuable services through Arya Samaj movement, for which India will remain indebted to him. He was a true nationalist by every test and a far-sighted leader. It is amazing how he anticipated so far back those very things which Mahatma Gandhi later included in his constructive program and greatly emphasized during the active struggle against foreign rule. With surprising foresight, Dayananda propagated the ideals of having a national language, Harijan upliftment, women's education, the use of hand-woven cloth, and Swadeshi goods, which Mahatma Gandhi associated with the freedom struggle. 50 years later, all his life, Dayananda dreamt of liberating India from foreign rulers. And one of another minister I would like to quote, Dr. Keshkar. He was the union minister in Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet. He remarks, Mahatma Gandhi had only taken up the work begun by Swami Dayananda and completed it. Means there is no leadership. No doubt, politically, Mahatma Gandhi became the father of the nation. But Maharshi Dayananda was the grandfather of the nation. Nothing such new thing was introduced by the freedom fighters after Maharshi Dayananda that we can call as their new contribution to this freedom struggle of India. So this is how Swami Dayananda's contribution to the Indian freedom struggle as well as in making of the modern India is unparalleled. And how this RS Mass was a body founded by Swami Dayananda. And it, when the people, they started emphasizing that you form somebody and through that forum we can come, we can do work, and we can promote your vision of the nationalism, your vision of the Vedas, your vision of the Indian knowledge system. Then Swami Dayananda, earlier he was hesitating to form an institution like Arya Samaj. He told, I'm not going to form this because if I'm going to form this an institution as you are telling, then it may again taken or assume the form of religion. We already have so many religion in our country, and this will also become one more religion added to the Indian system. But when the persons they emphasize, Swami Dayananda formed the RSMAS. We know there are two institutions. One is Propakarini Sabha and another is RSMAS. Propakarini Sabha was the direct successor of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. And Swami Dayananda never became the member of the RS Mas even. And he was never been the president of the RS Mas. For the people who wanted to work, he opened these gates in the name of RS Mas. And by that time, Swami Dayananda was interacting with many personalities in India. He interacted with Vidyasagar, Keshava Chandra Sen in Bengal. They had Brahmo Samaj there. He also interacted with the people of Prarthana Samaj. They were having their own principles for their different institutions. And those principles, a person was bound to accept those principles before he was going to admit into their Samaj. Brahmo Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, like that. And that way, Swami Dayananda also made Arya Samaj. He named it as Arya Samaj. He didn't name it in any, it was a very secular name according to Swami Dayananda. And he himself defines the word Arya at one place. Once a Christian missionary said in joke to Swamiji, Panditji, we too are Aryas. Hearing this, Swamiji said, you are, of course, a gentleman, but not an Arya. On being asked the reason, Swamiji explained, Arya means noble, dharmic person who follow dharma. But your holy books does not regard you as such. Your holy book, they are not going to regard you as noble persons. Once a few disciples, then Swamiji quotes an example and he says, once a few disciples had asked Jesus that he healed the blind and the leper, but why could not they have done so? In reply, Jesus told them that they had no faith. When there was a little or no faith at all during the lifetime of the preceptor, how can it now be in his disciples? And this remarks silenced that missionary. Swamiji further told that he had made a thorough study of the Bible and that it contains no mention at all that people would get salvation. In your system, there is no concept of salvation. And if they would pin their faith in Jesus, this is a sheer fabrication interpolated by the missionaries. So Swami Dayananda's idea of Arya was a noble person who followed dharma. And in definition, according to Swami Dayananda, dharma is not a religion. Dharma is that set of moral, ethical values, the duty system, knowledge to be gained by person. That is dharma. So dharma, according to Swami Dayananda, it was different from what we called as religion. He used to call religion as mat and matantaras, different patha, different matas, different sects he used to call, but dharma is all pervading. Dharma is eternal. Dharma is sanatana. It starts from the origin of universe and it persists till the end of universe. So this was the concept. That is why Swami Dayananda gave it a name, Arya Samaj, the society of the Aryans. And grammatically also, if I derive this word, the word Arya has formed of the root re. Re means to move. And from this root re, the word becomes ar. Ar means the spoke of the wheel, just like the spoke of a wheel, they keep joined to the axle and together they make the wheel move. Similarly, the Aryas are those persons who unitedly work and contribute to the progress of their nation. That is why we hear the mantras like that. Samano mantraha samiti samani samanam manah sachittamesham, means togetherness. The notion of togetherness has to be there. And from the word ar, the word arya is formed. Arya means thus the persons who have the sense of togetherness, who are able to work together. And the descendant of such Aryas, they are known as Aryas. So in today's world, we don't find this type of tendency among human beings, because even the families are broken. Everything is individualized and there is no family system, or there is no togetherness among the human beings. So this Arya word, it also symbolizes that the people who can come together, work together, think together and contribute together to the progress or a development to their nations. Now the question arises, when was Arya Samaj formed? Generally, the people they celebrate that Arya Samaj was formed on Chaitra Shukla Pratipada, on the first day of the Indian year, and the first day, that is Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. But the evidences, they speak something else. I quote here a letter by Swami Dayananda on April 11, 1875. Swami Dayananda writes a letter to Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh, and this April 11, 1875 is the period Chaitra Shukla 6th, Vikram Samvat 1932 or 31. So, on 11th April, Swami Dayananda writes a letter to Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh, and the letter was dispatched from Mumbai, and it was written in Sanskrit to Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh. And who was Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh? A learned judge at Allahabad. Here Swamiji discussed in this letter the development at Mumbai, culminating in the setting up of the Arya Samaj at Mumbai. And Swamiji says that Arya Samaj had been set up in Mumbai on April 10, 1875. April 10, 1875. And this period is Chaitra Shukla 5th. It's not Chaitra Shukla 1 or Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. Through this letter, it becomes crystal clear that Arya Samaj was founded in Mumbai on Saturday, April 10th, 1875. Accordingly, it was the 5th day of the bright half of Chaitra month of Vikram Samvat 1932. So, this is not one of the example. I quote another example. There was a scholar, H.D. Griswold. He was a Christian missionary from Punjab, and he spent most of his time in Lahore. He presented a paper. He was very much influenced by Swami Dayananda, although he was a Christian missionary, but he left this missionaryship and he settled in India, and he presented a paper on Arya Samaj in a missionary conference held in Masuri. And he writes, Arya Samaj was founded by Swami Dayananda in Bombay, April 10th, 1875. The main features of the new society were modeled after Brahmo Samaj and Prarthana Samaj. The organic union with the two Samajas was prevented by Dayananda's conviction of the infallibility of the Vedas and the truth of transmigrations. Because both these Samajas, both these institutions, Brahmo Samaj and Prarthana Samaj, they never believed in the Veda. That Veda is the revelation of a Brahman and Veda is the final authority. They never believed it. And they never believed in the rebirth. So here the dispute arose, and those Brahmo Samaj and Prarthana Samaj could not be merged into Arya Samaj. So this is written by H.D. Griswold. And now another Indian scholar who was quite close to Swami Dayananda, who attended the meetings of Swami Dayananda and contemporary to him. He was Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai, he writes a book on Arya Samaj, and he says that first Arya Samaj was established on April 10th, 1875 in Bombay. So as I told, Arya Samaj was established in 1875 in Bombay, But for the 2 years after its establishment, nothing happened, no progress, no movement, and nothing happened. Then finally, the Arya Samaj was established in Lahore because Swami Dayananda didn't find even any good person in Bombay, in Maharashtra, who could be the head of the Arya Samaj and who could lead it. So for 2 years, there was total silence. And after 2 years, in 1877, Arya Samaj was established in Lahore. The whole activities, they were carried to Punjab, the then Punjab, Haryana, my state, this Uttar Pradesh, like all these three states, they were the places of great movement of the Arya Samaj. Here everything happened. And in 1875, Maharshi Dayanand, he assigned the presidentship of Lahore Arya Samaj to Mr. Moolraj M.A. He was quite close to Swami Dayananda till death, and you will be surprised to know that when Swami Dayananda was at deathbed, he wrote his will, and regarding that Propakarini Sabha, because a lot of money and everything, property was there with Propakarini Sabha, and Swami Dayananda, while writing his will, he made this Moolras, he was from Lahore, and Propakarini Sabha was established in Rajasthan, in Ajmer, and he made this Moolras the vice president of the Propakarini Sabha. And the president was the Maharana Sajjan Singh of Udaipur. He was the president, but Mool Raj was the vice president. In fact, he was the actual inheritor of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. So, this is how the things happened. Arya Samaj was established on 10th April 1875, and this period is the Chaitra Shukla Panchami rather than Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. And when the first, I think most of you might maybe knowing that when the first Arya Samaj was established in Mumbai, there were 27 principles. Now, all of us know about the 10 principles, but in the earliest phase, when Arya Samaj was established in Mumbai, Swami Dayananda formed 27 principles. 27 principles, such a huge number of principles. And he writes in some of the principles that Arya Samaj shall regard Veda alone as independently and absolutely authoritative book for purposes of testimony and for understanding of Vedas, as also for historical purposes. All the four Brahmanas, Shatpat, etc., six Vedangas, four Upavedas, six Darshanas, and 1121 branches of the Vedas or exposition of Vedas shall, by virtue of their being ancient and recognized works of the rishis, be also regarded as secondarily authoritative. All branches of the Vedas will be secondary, but the four Vedas will be the primary authority. This was during that period also Swami Dayananda said, and this was the second principle of Arya Samaj that time. In the third principle, Swami Dayananda says that Arya Samaj should be established in each province, and other Arya Samaj shall be its branches, and all will be connected with one another. Not separate set, separate Arya Samaj. You are supposed to open. Now we have different, separate Arya Samaj. Every Arya Samaj having its own ruling management, and it's not connected with the provincial one. And all provincial Arya Samaj were supposed to be connected with the Sarvadeshik Arya Pratinidhi Sabha. And in the third, in the fifth principle, Swami Dayananda says, the principal Samaj shall possess various Vedic works. There is no Arya Samaj without Vedic works. You will be surprised when the 5 executive members Swami Dayananda told to nominate or to appoint. First was the president of the Arya Samaj, second was the vice president of the Arya Samaj, third was the secretary of the Arya Samaj, fourth was the and the fifth one was the librarian, Pustakalaya Dhaksha, that has to be there. That fifth one, a librarian has to be there. Without librarian, there can be no Arya Samaj. And the fourth one was accountant, because keeping the account of money was very important. So Swami Dayananda says that Samaj shall possess various Vedic works in Sanskrit and Arya Bhasha, Hindi, for the dissemination of true knowledge, and it shall issue a weekly paper. Weekly paper has to be issued by under the name of Arya Prakash. Arya Prakash. Also an exponent of the Vedic teaching, the paper and the books shall be patronized by all samajas. Means provincial level, you can issue one paper named as Arya Prakash, and it will be patronized by all samajas. So,
No, I don't want to do that.
This type of rules Swami Dayananda, formed while the first Arya Samaj was established. I'll quote 1, 2, 3 more rules. In the 8th rule, Swami Dayananda says, the members of the Samaj shall be men of truth, of upright policy and principles, of pure character, and of philanthropic impulses. And to their spare time to the earnest service of the Samaj, those that have no family should in particular be always striving to promote the well-being of the society. Thus, Swami Dayananda is telling that you must contribute to the promotion of Arya Samaj. At one place, Swami Dayananda says that every member of that Samaj, they must contribute 1% of their income for the running, for all those activities of the Arya Samaj. And this is how this everything was made by Swami Dayananda, and 27 principles were formed by that time. But when after 2 years, the actual Arya Samaj was formed in 1877 in Lahore, with Mool Raj as the head of the president of the Arya Samaj, then those 27 rules, they were reduced to the 10 principles. What we today have, these 10 principles are all pervading. Now everybody follows these rules of these 10 principles. So, actual step in the formation of Arya Samaj was taken 2 years later in Lahore, which was the capital of the Punjab province in northern India. And here Arya Samaj took its final shape, which it maintains at this day also. The principles was finally revised and the constitution reframed, finally settled. All the Arya Samaj in India or elsewhere accept these principles and are governed by this constitution. And most important thing regarding these principles, when we go about Prarthana Samaj, Brahma Samaj or other organizations during those periods, they made principles for what? That you, if you want to join this Samaj, you will have to accept, admit these principles. You will have to follow these principles. Then only you can be the member of that Samaj. But in case of forming these principles, Swami Dayananda took a great care that anybody may not be enslaved intellectually. And you must be knowing that Swami Dayananda never formed any such rule that everybody who is going to be the member of this Samaj, he will going to follow my translations of the Vedas. He never said so. He never told that a person who is going to be the member of Arya Samaj, he is not going to worship idolatry or idols. He never said that the member who is going to be the person who is going to be the member of this Arya Samaj, he should follow this or that, he should not eat meat. He didn't say all these things. Why? Why? He kept it open because he wanted, during that period, the entire country, the people in the entire country, they were having so many types of superstitions, so many types of evils. Had Swami Dayananda made some hard and fast rules like that, then nobody could have joined this Arya Samaj. It would have, the doors of the Arya Samaj would have been closed. So he wanted that the people, even having evils, even having superstitions, even meeting eat, even having non-believers, they must join the Arya Samaj, and through the activities, through the literature, they must awaken themselves. This was the great tendency. And you will be surprised to know that I think in 1892, Arya Samaj, there was a split in Arya Samaj. It divided into two sections. And those sections were called Mass Party and Ghas Party. Ghas Party means vegetarians and Mass Party means non-vegetarians. Because during that period, even after Swami Dayananda, people in the Punjab, because most of the Sikhs and so many people there, they were non-vegetarians. So there was a divide in Arya Samaj, vegetarians and non-vegetarian, and there was a great debate whether the non-vegetarian will be the member of the Arya Samaj or not, whether only the vegetarian will be the member of Arya Samaj. So there was a great debate on it. And this debate, the issue was solved by that Mr. Moolraj, who was here apparent of Swami Dayananda and who was the president of Lahore Arya Samaj. He wrote a big letter, a paper. He told Swami Dayananda never wanted to be an Arya Samaji, that he should not do that, should not do that. Let all the things come into his mind through understanding, through awakening, and not forcefully, because you can't force anybody to do the act of your liking. Whether he is an atheist, whether he is something else, or he is vegetarian, non-vegetarian, no such rules were included. And that he told both these splitted sections or the factions will be considered as Arya Samajis. And those non-vegetarians, they formed DAV colleges, DAV institutions, Dayananda Anglo-Vedic institutions, and they introduced the English education also. And that Ghas Party, those vegetarians, they were led by Swami Shraddhananda. And they instituted Gurukul Kangadi in Haridwar. In 1896, you will be surprised to know that DAV institutions, they started operating in India through Arya Samaj. In 1902, in 1898, a Gurukul was also established in Jalandhar, but then it was shifted in 1902 in Kangadi. And so two streams were working. As per Swami Shraddhanand, that Ghas Party, only pure Vedic education will be given, no emphasis will be given on English language. And that Gurukul Kangdi became very famous by that time. Even the British Prime Minister, he visited the Gurukul Kangdi. And when he visited, he asked Swami Shraddhananda, he told, I have heard that you are making bombs and weapons here. I have come to know about this through my, uh, government intelligence. Then Swami Shraddhananda told, yes, we are making bombs, guns, and cannons. You come, I'll show you that. When he came, Swami Shraddhananda was along with him, and Swami Shraddhananda introduced the brahmacharis of Gurukul, and he told, these are my bombs, these are my cannons, these are my guns. He was surprised. In fact, every great leading British prime minister, two prime ministers, they visited Gurukul Kangdi. They were very much influenced that in this period, this type of system of education, that ancient education system has been revived, and that education system, it was demolished, it was destroyed by that Macaulay. He made a rule regarding Indian education system. He declared in 1835 or between 1835 to 1825, he declared. By that time, you will be surprised to know that India had some 700,000 villages, and each and every village had one or two gurukuls running. Even there were gurukuls for the women education. By that time, in those gurukuls, 56 subjects used to be taught. But by that time in Oxford, in England, only 3 subjects used to be taught. One in the name of theology, Bible, another logic, and third one was grammar. Indian gurukuls, they used to taught 56 subjects. Astronomy, Ayurveda, Vriksha, Ayurveda, literature, darshanas, what uncountable, 56 subjects. So Macaulay, by law, he destroyed Indian education system. He told this Gurukul system is illegal. And by that time, the education was given, it was not the state subject. The Gurukulas, they were not funded by the government. It was the social subject. The society used to fund the Gurukulas. And he told, a person who is going to donate anything to the Gurukuls, he will be punished. And this is how the whole Gurukul system was destroyed and annihilated, exterminated by Macaulay. But after 1819, this whole system was revived. Even Swami Dayananda's time itself, the Gurukul system was revived. But Gurukul Kangdi was the model example of that. So this is how these 10 principles, and we know these 10 principles or any principle of Arya Samaj except the first 3, these are not the principles only for Arya Samajis. These are the principles for the coexistence of human being on the earth. If you are not going to follow these principles, no coexistence of human beings is possible on the earth. In fact, these principles, sometime I say, these must be accepted by UNO as its principle. By that time, the church was dominating in Europe, and the people used to say that science and religion cannot go together. But Swami Dayananda redefined religion in the name of dharma, and he told that dharma means what is truth, the thought of truth and untruth, that is dharma. So he told the dharma can go along with the science, but religion cannot go. Religion and science cannot go together, but dharma and science would have to go together. Both are supplementary, complementary to each other. One cannot survive without another. So this was the most important thing. And what Swami Dayananda says, one should always be ready to accept the truth and denounce untruth. This is all scientific system. Swami Dayananda was laying the foundation of the science in 19th century India, in the middle of the 19th century, when the European countries, when the European people, these American people, they were just developing their sciences, but he was making rule for the development of the science and technology. And he says, all actions must be performed in conformity with dharma, that is after due consideration of right and wrong. So this is not a religion, it's a dharma. Whatever is right, you must follow it. Whatever is wrong, you must disband it. So every performance should be as per this system. So what the best example can be, this is the
Sorry,
science.
Professor G.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I hate to cut you off with this from these interesting facts. We have the last 10 minutes before we conclude. If I'll give you a minute to conclude and round up what you are saying. Please forgive me.
Yes. I'm just summarizing these principles.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, the one of the principle, the last principle, what does it say? That a person should be, a person is not free so far as the general well-being is concerned. You are bound to follow certain rules. You are not free when the altruistic welfare of the society is concerned. You will have to do certain sacrifices. Your selfish motives have to be sacrificed, but you are free only when your self satisfaction or individual welfare is concerned. You are free, but when the question of welfare comes to for the whole society, one is not free. So these are the laws for the coexistence of the human being. How the humanity will coexist when this law will be followed. And if everybody will say, no, I have the right, I will have the right to exist, another person has no right to exist, then the result will be these wars, what the modern humanity is facing. So this is how this Arya Samaj was established by Swami Dayananda for the promotion of those good values, the scientific system that was developed by the seers of this land. And it was not only for the Aryas, for even known Aryas, it was all people living globally to follow this system, so that the reformation, transformation in individual life and reformation in the religious life, religious sects may be introduced. So this was so it's very big topic, many hours can be spent, but no doubt the time limit is there and we must abide by that time limit also. So I'm going to withdraw my lecture, and you are open to ask any questions or any other things.
Once again, I'm very sorry to stop
No
you.
problem. Yeah.
Carried away with such interesting facts. I'm speechless. I know there's so much of facts and things that I've learned today. I think we need to actually invite you to come and spend a week or two here in South Africa with us.
Right.
We need to start working on that, and we need to get you into to South Africa, Professor G.
Swami Dayananda is not a small thing, he's an ocean, because he combines in himself 6 darshanas, Vedas, everything. So this personality is an oceanic personality. It cannot be summarized in a lecture of 1 hour or 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any questions or the guests tonight like to ask Professor any questions? Any questions?
You're right. Thank you. It's Karuna
Yes, Karuna.
in Johannesburg. Namaste, Prof. It's really good to have you back to the Vedas. I just wanted to raise 2 points. One is that, Swami Dayanand formed the Arya Samaj, but he was just an ordinary member. And he made it very clear that he shouldn't be revered, he shouldn't be prayed to. And he's not the spiritual head. People will come ahead of him and they will be more intelligent than he is. And all Arya Samaj Swamis that have visited the country have told us the same thing. But today it's quite clear that we have a new cult that's developing where a lot of people are gurus and swamis and they adorn the saffron robes. And, while we'd like to respect them and take the knowledge that they have, it's very clear that you cannot revere them. They are not God, they're just human like us. So my reading of what the Arya Samaj says is that our spiritual head is Paramatma. And he treats everybody equally, nature, human being, animal, everybody, or she treats them equally. So, I think it would be nice if you comment on that. The second point I want to make is, you ended up on a very good note that our principles in the Arya Samaj is for humanity. It's for everybody in the world. And, there are a lot of human rights atrocities across the world. There's child labor, which Swami Agnivesh took up. Currently, there's, children, innocent children and women being killed in many parts of the world. The Arya Samaj today is very silent on these. And I'm wondering, if Swami Dayanand was here, what he would have been doing. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly, Swami Dayananda's aim was to elevate human beings to the higher levels of spirituality. He didn't come here to be the guru. He don't want to be the guru himself, because at one place he told that presently the aim of my life is to liberate the people from misery, from superstitions. My program of moksha I will achieve in the next lives, but presently I am to liberate these miserable persons. So he was there to liberate people. He was there to awaken human beings, to bring awakening. He was not there to be considered as a guru. He never told that this Veda Bhashya I have written, this will be the final one. He knew that the knowledge has no end. Knowledge can go further. He never told that what I have said is only the final and you will follow me. He never said. He says a group of scholars may join together, and if they find any fault or any lacuna in my writings, those may be amended, because the human brain is developing. It's not going to stuck at one place, and it's a long journey. It's a long journey of gaining knowledge and all these things. That's why Swami Dayanand made this Samaj for the upliftment of the human beings. He never wanted to be considered as a guru or something else. And for him, he says himself that from Brahma to Jaimini, starting from Brahma till Jaimini, these all seers are our guide. And he says, I'm not saying anything at my own. Whatever the seers have told, whatever this long tradition of seers has told, whatever the Vedas have told, I'm just reproducing these things in modern terms, modern understandable terms for you. And so I'm saying nothing. Or he could have taken the credit himself. He could have been a cunning fellow, and he could have taken the credit, but he never took the credit. He was not a pirate. Today, piracy we are talking about. Piracy, plagiarism. You just see such a great man. He did whatever where from he received the things, he's just telling that I'm receiving these things from that place, this place. And in modern scholars, they have received so many things from our Shastras, but they presented those rules in their own name, in a pirated way, plagiarized way. And this was the fairness of Swami Dayananda. He was the true follower of Dharma, true follower of the truth. And one more thing, today Arya Samaj, no doubt, is stagnant. Now the main emphasis of the Arya Samaj is on yajna, no doubt during Swami Dayananda's time also this was there. Swami Dayananda himself says that once in a week at least you come together, you do Ishvara meditation, and that is Stuti, Prarthana, Upasana mantras. He himself never told that you do yajna in the Arya Samaj. But yajna, he emphasized that this is a scientific act. And he says, then after doing that prarthana, upasana and all these things, you do some bhajans, kirtans, eulogizing Brahman. Then have some lectures by some scholar. You have some books. There must be some swadhyaya class or a group, swadhyaya group. You may discuss certain things for the enhancement of your knowledge. He himself tells, and his main emphasis was to address the issues, disputed issues in the society, superstitions, whatever the evils were there. So the real character, if we want to revive with regard to the Arya Samaj, it should be the social program also. And certain scholars, they say that's why, there is a tradition in Arya Samaj to open up orphanages, schools, institutions. All these things were done by Christians also by that time. And no doubt Swami Dayananda got these ideas from those persons, and that is why the people in India by that time, they used to say that this Dayananda is the agent of Christians. He is doing the same thing. They used to say. And Max Muller told Swami Dayananda that you once come visit England. Then Swami Dayananda said, no, I can't come at this time, because these people, they are branding me as the agent of the Christians. First of all, I shall have to set them right. So he was such an open-minded person. Wherever Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha, wherever you get good idea, you receive them, you adopt them, you live them in your life. So that was the principle of Swami Dayananda.
Okay. Any other questions, listeners? And any other questions? So, Dr. J, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you look at Christianity, they have a pope, the mosques have a mullahs, the divine life have some swami or some acharya. Is there a need for a spiritual head in the Arya Samaj?
You are right, because what happened, Arya Samaj was the first institution in the world when India was not free. And this democratic system, it was implemented in Arya Samaj. There were the provision of elections. And this democratic system is failing in India also. Indian democracy is totally a failed democracy, because unqualified persons who don't deserve to be the administrators or politicians, they are entering into it. And the same thing is going to be a problem with the Arya Samaj also. The people, they have grabbed different smarts. Now they are doing more politics than doing the proliferation of knowledge and all these things. So I personally feel that there is a need to be the spiritual head of the Arya Samaj, and everything must be carried out under his instructions. There is a need, because then only there will be the that centralized system has to be there, or then this decentralization is going to be harmful at many aspects, because everybody is having own samaj, everybody is having own system, own schools they are running. No doubt they are running in the name of Swami Dayananda, following the same things. But without unity, if the unity is there, if that the same thing, Sangasadvam, Samvadadvam, we always pray and chant, without that unity, you cannot project your views emphatically before the world. And you won't have your whatever you think, or your ideologies, whatever your philosophy is, it's not going to have so much impact on others. So that is required.
Okay. Any other questions from the listeners? Any input from anybody?
Satish from Mauritius. Professor G.
Yes.
Namaste. And Professor G, you mentioned that Arya Samaj was founded in 1875 and on the 10th of April.
Yeah.
And recently we have been just celebrating Nav Samvatsar, and it is always connected with Nav Samvatsar and Arya Samaj Sthapna Divas. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
So this I was a bit confused, and I wanted to know that. And the
And
second
later
thing,
the people, they added it because they thought you go back 4 days back, so that the Arya Samaj establishment day may start with the new Samvatsar itself. Then you know that Bombay Arya Samaj Mandir, it was constructed 7 years after. Then they put a plate there that it was started on Chaitra Shukla Pratipada, like that. But whatever Swami Dayananda says, sometime I surprise and I wonder, what sort of Arya Samajis are you? You are not following your mentor. You are not following your mentor. He says that Arya Samaj was established on 10th April 1875, and we say that it was established on 6th April, like that. So, but everybody has the liberty, and there is a liberty of speech. Even with Swami Dayananda says that everybody has a liberty to speak, everybody can have a freedom of speech and freedom of thinking. If you have some other idea, you can go with that. But the centralized idea should not be forgotten. That is, that Veda is the final authority. And there is only one Brahman, that is the final means central point. The rest of the points, they may be debated and disputed.
Thank you. My second question, Professor G, is you mentioned that, okay, Swamiji didn't specifically refrain you from being vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and things like that. And it is still the strong belief in every Arya Samaj that, okay, you have to follow that hard and fast rule to be veg. So is it bad that, okay, those who are not following this strict rule, should we consider them as non-Arya Samajis, or I know the question is,
you are right, because it's not if Swami Dayan didn't say all these things in the principle of Arya Samaj, it never meant that he allowed you to take to be non-vegetarian. In his other book, he emphatically describes all these things, and not from the point of view of eating, because your sanskaras, if you are a meat eater, you will have the animal-like of sanskaras, then rebirth will take place, you will be born as an animal. That is only for your good, not for some selfish motives of the Arya Samaj or Swami Dayananda. He wanted the people, he wanted awakened people. They must, because if the understanding will come to you by your own practices, by your own thought, and by your own efforts, then that will be permanent. And if it comes through some course, through some any other thing, then it is not going to be the permanent. Whatever Swami Dayananda wrote, whatever he said, he believed firmly that this is correct. When he writes the commentary of a Veda, he has a firm belief that this commentary is better than others, what I have written. Whatever he writes in Satyarth Prakash, he believed that. So, as follower of Swami Dayananda, we must follow those things, and those are the scientific things. Those are not the dogmas. That is not fundamentalism. Being an Arya Samaji, you will have to be vegetarian. No, this is dogmatic statement. Why you should be non-vegetarian? Because if you want to attain again the human life, you must have the sanskaras like human being, or the rajasic and sattvic sanskaras. And if you will have tamasic sanskaras, whatever Swami Dayananda says it, then you will be downgraded in your next life. So this is how we must be vegetarian, not because we are Arya Samaji, we follow Swami Dayananda. We have to be vegetarian. This dogmatic system should not be there. This fundamentalism has not to be there, because this society is the society of awakened persons. This society is of intelligent persons who are using rational intelligence, reason, and all these things.
Thank you for guiding us. As always, Professor Ji, I am so thankful to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see Yuri-bhai has dropped off. So perhaps, Prof, we could just basically round up now. And I think I'd like to announce to everybody that our next lecture would be on the 15th of May. And Prof. Ravi ji will be back with us. So, you know, I know you all don't want to leave and you'd like to listen to him, but, you know, we will be having that. Yuvi is joining us back now, so I'm sure he will close out. Yuvi bhai, if you're back on.
Sorry.
I've actually made the announcement, so you can literally close up.
Okay. So can I conclude? Sorry, we had some electricity problem in our neighborhood as well. Okay, thank you. Okay, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by extending my gratitude to Professor Dr. Ravi Prakash for not only giving us his time this evening, but also Dr. G for imparting wisdom that has been nothing short of enlightening. To have a man as esteemed as yourself to share this discussion with us has been a privilege. To conclude, I would like to thank you all for giving us time as well as joining us. Paramatma bless you all. Good health. May your homes be happy homes. And till next month, namaste to everybody. We'll conclude with the Shanti Path. Namaste. Okay. Om. 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 Om Dhyo Shantirantariksha Shanti Prithvi Shantira Shantir Oshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shantir Vishwe Deva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantir Eva Shanti Sama Shantir Edhi Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti Om. Namaste, everybody. Thank you once again.
Namaste.
Namaste, namaste, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for
Namaste. Namaste,
Yeah,
everybody.
thanks.
Namaste.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.